Well, hello everyone. So I need to do a battery update for my Allen batteries. Some things that I've discovered, and to correct a few claims that I made in my other videos. I just was making assumptions, and I need to fix that. So, first thing is these batteries are more susceptible to freezing. If say you're going to use them in a car, it's not as good because their freezing point depression is much higher, so your batteries can't go down to as cold of temperatures without being susceptible to freezing. This is because I've removed most of the sulfuric acid in the solution, and that is what keeps them from freezing, the sulfuric acid. So when your battery dies and you have a lead acid battery, most of the sulfur is deposited on the plates, and you have mostly water left in your battery, and the more dilute the solution of sulfuric acid is, the easier it is to freeze. So a 30 to 40% concentration of sulfuric acid can resist freezing up to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. But these batteries, I believe, from some of the tests that I've done, and there's more testing needed, much more, will go down to about 12 degrees, which is still pretty cold, but they start to freeze. And anyways, I wouldn't recommend anything below 20 degrees for these batteries. So these batteries really aren't for your cars yet, but I'm working on finding a solution for the freezing problem. But right now they're excellent batteries if you have off-grid or solar system or a battery backup system in your house, where you don't have to worry about the batteries getting too cold. So with that being said, I'll do an update on the battery that I put in my truck. Alright, well, so my truck's been sitting here overnight. Just got back from Idaho. And I don't really have a way to film this and show you very well. But what I got here is my pH tester. It tests the pH of the battery just to show you how concentrated the acid is, and my voltmeter. Alright, well, it's a bit windy out here today, so I don't know how well you're going to hear me, but this is the same battery that I put into my truck about 8 months ago. And I'm going to show you the starting voltage on it. I don't know if you can see that very well. So, let's see if I can't plug it in here. So it's sitting at 11.79, and it has a small load on it. This is after sitting all night. Well, rather sitting all day, because I got here about 4 in the morning. I'm going to show you the pH on the battery, just to show you. 11.79 is pretty low for a lead acid battery, but for an Allen battery it's just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Now it looks like my fluid levels are all pretty good. I haven't opened this in a long time. But we're going to show you what it does here on the pH scale here. So it's reading, let's see if I can turn it. Not sure if you can see that, but it's reading in the 1150 range, or right below that, actually between 1150 and 1175. That's about 1150. So for a lead acid battery, that's pretty dead. It's not reading very much acid because there's not very much acid in it. Check this out, just to show you. This one's reading a little bit more acid in it, about 11.6, or 1160, I mean. And yeah, so it's not even anywhere near the good range or the fair range. So that's pretty much just to show you that the battery doesn't have very much acid in it. So this is the same battery, and there's one thing that you can notice right here is normally this terminal has a lot of corrosion on it, and it doesn't, because most of the acid content's been reduced. And also, if it leaks or overcharges, the acid's not destroying my terminals as much. So anyway, I'm going to start the vehicle and show you that it starts with no problem. So there you have it, not a single problem. Oh, one thing I should have done, and I'm going to do right now, is show you the voltage on the battery after starting it. Let's see if I can get a good connection here. It's 11.9, and when I start it, I'm going to start it again just to show you what it jumps up to. And then we'll just do one more just to show you here what we got going on. Right after jumping up, it's at 12.74, and it'll drop back down pretty quickly. So I don't know if you can see that. I'll bring it back up there. Kind of hard to do. 12.63. As you watch it drop back down, it'll drop back down. It just has a surface charge on it right now. But this is the battery I've been using since that first video. And it'll sit around 11.79. And this will sit a little bit higher longer if I took one of these terminals off. Just because there's a small drain on it, so it's taking the surface charge off quicker.